Hello again. This is William Toti, retired Navy captain, former CEO of USS Indianapolis, former CEO of Sparton Corporation, and my book is From CEO to CEO, a practical guide for transitioning from military to industry leadership. Through this series of podcasts, I've covered materials from the introduction and every chapter of my book to give you a taste of the kind of material the book covers so that you can decide whether the book is right for you. Obviously, if you're watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, you're thinking about transitioning out of the military, and therefore you must be interested in the subject, and I would argue the book is right for you. There's no way in these series of podcasts I can cover everything that I covered in these over 240 pages of the book. There's a lot of very detailed information in there that merits not just one read, but maybe two reads or even three. The final segment here of this podcast, I want to cover the epilogue and the appendix. Now, for the epilogue, which is titled The Long Road to CEO, my last job before taking the CEO job was a wonderful position. I would say it was the pinnacle of my industry career. I was the president of a Navy business unit in a very large defense company, and it was what I would call the ultimate globe-trotting kind of position. I had 18 divisions around the world. Each division dealt with a particular line of business, but it was all Navy focused, and it was wonderful. Several international divisions, and I absolutely loved it. But I encountered a health setback, which required me to think really hard about what I was doing and why I was doing it. And it became clear to me that I could not focus on my health while continuing to give that job its full attention. And I'm not one to do things halfway. If I can't do it fully, I think hard about whether I should be doing it at all. So I made the very difficult decision to step away from that job so I could focus on my health. After I stepped away from the job, I got this interesting opportunity to serve as chief executive officer of a company that was owned by a private equity firm. The idea of finally being CEO was intriguing to me. The company was much smaller than the one I had left, so one would think the responsibilities were much less significant. But the truth is, until you're CEO, you don't really make the investment decisions. You don't really make the strategic trajectory decisions. You don't really make the bid, no bid decisions. And so I began to wonder if my past success had been me personally, talent-based, or whether it had been structural. In other words, there were so many checks and balances in that large company that could I really tell whether or not I was contributing significantly to the company's success. And I realized that until I became CEO myself, I wouldn't really know whether or not it was me or it was the structure. So again, the company was much more limited in scope, much smaller. I wouldn't have to travel, all those things that I would be required to do in my prior job. And so I decided that it would be possible for me to take the CEO job while working on my health issues. And I did. And the good news is health issues resolved, and I was able to spend 3 years as chief executive officer of that company and enjoyed the heck out of it. The point I'm making here is until you're CEO, you won't know for yourself whether those factors are true for you. And if you have the mindset and the ambition and the time and the desire to do it, I encourage you to go for it, because you too might be able to take the journey from CEO to CEO. I said in the introduction that the nation needs vigorous exchange between active duty and industry, that the ability to take what we've learned during our active duty time and inject that into a variety of industries, not just the defense industry, is one of this nation's strengths. That means that you need to effectively transition from active duty to your industry career. And that's what this book is all about. I hope you benefit from it, and I hope you enjoy the journey. Good luck.